Did you know that for 12 Monkeys, director Terry Gilliam was afraid Brad Pitt wouldn't be able to pull off his nervous rapid speech and sent him to a speech coach? In the end, Terry just took away Brad's cigarettes and Brad performed the scene exactly as he wanted. Did you know that in 1917, a Sith soldier uses an Indian-produced and field rifle with darker within the stock disc instead of the British Army-issued version? Did you know that in Avatar, the evil imperialist room resembles an American flag? And there's even a 50 where the stars should be. Did you know that in Avengers Endgame, Thor always wears gloves to cover the seams of the fat suit? Did you know that Impact in Back to the Future, Marty scares George, then plays a tape labeled Edward Van Halen because Eddie Van Halen agreed to perform some licks on his own after the band refused to allow their music to be used in the film? Did you know that in Coco, Hector is barefoot throughout the film, but once he's reunited and accepted by the Rivera family, he has access to their legacy shoes? Did you know that in Despicable Me, the number on the cruise ticket is 072069 because July 20th, 1969 is the date of the first moon landing, which he watches in a flashback? Did you know that in Die Hard, Alan Rickman's terrified reaction is actually real? The stunt team told them they would drop him on the count of 3, instead they dropped him on 2. Did you know that for Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan uses as little CGI as possible? Instead, he relies on forced perspective flats to decorate the scenes. Did you know that for Elf, Will Ferrell, director Jon Favreau, and a single cameraman actually ran through New York City and interacted with random people on the street? Did you know that for the Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, producers couldn't get a permit to shoot in Shibuya, but did it anyway? They hired a fall guy to claim to be the director and spend a night in jail. Did you know that for Frozen, the characters are named Hans, Kristoff, Anna, and Sven? Because saying all the names quickly, Hans, Kristoff, Anna, and Sven, sounds like Hans Christian Andersen, who is the author of The Snow Queen, which is the inspiration for Frozen. Did you know that in Home Alone, Heather mistakenly counts 17 people, meaning the group should be split 8 and 9 between 2 vans, but with Kevin missing, both vehicles have 8, and assuming he's in the other van? Did you know that in Hot Fuzz, the mothers of Edgar Wright and Simon Pegg played 2 of the Village of the Year judges during the final battle? Did you know that in I Am Legend, the mannequin that makes Robert freak out moves its head? Did you know that for The Iron Giant, director Brad Bird was inspired to make the film after his sister, who died at the hands of her husband by gun violence? His pitch was, what if a gun had a soul and didn't want to be a gun? Did you know that Inspector Christoph Waltz says to Leah Seydoux, I came to your home once to see your father? Leah said the line is a nod to Glorious Bastards because she plays one of the Lapidite girls opposite Christoph's Hans Landa. Did you know that for The Lion King, Mufasa's death was originally more intense and heartbreaking that a test audience of children cried so uncontrollably that Disney decided to tone down the scene? Did you know that for Lord of War, producers bought and resold 3,000 real VZ-58 rifles to stand in for AK-47s because it was cheaper than buying props? They also rented 50 T-72 tanks for a short period, as the arms dealer needed them back to sell to Libya. Did you know that in Men in Black 3, Frank the Pug is on a carnival poster at Coney Island that advertises the incredible speaking pug? Did you know that in Mr. Popper's Penguins, the end credits state no penguins are harmed in the making of this film? Jim Carrey, however, wasn't so fortunate. Did you know that in Moana, Grandma Tala says their people stopped exploring after Maui stole the heart of Tufiti about 1,000 years ago? That's a real event in Polynesian history known as the Long Pause, but the reason for the gap is unknown. Did you know that in Parasite, Mr. Park's company has called another brick because Pink Floyd was director Bong Joon-ho's favorite band in college? Did you know that for Pretty Woman, director Gary Marshall cast the waiter and gave him the line, "It happens all the time"? Years later, Gary cast the same actor and gave him the same line in The Princess Diaries and The Princess Diaries 2. It happens all the time. Did you know that for Forrest Gump, after playing Lieutenant Dan, Gary Sinise established a charity to help disabled veterans? Today, he's raised over $280 million. Did you know that in The Santa Claus, a pointy-eared elf sits behind Charlie in class to keep tabs on him and his father? Did you know that for Soul, before Pixar released any details about the film, a black chauffeur told director Kem Powers that he knew Pixar was making a black movie because he had never driven so many black people to Pixar before? Did you know that in Space Jam, Marvin the Martian is the referee, because he's both a Looney Tune and an alien, so he's neutral. Did you know that in Spaceballs, Dark Helmet drinks from a styrofoam cup because crew members would leave them around the set, so director Mel Brooks just made them a part of the universe? Did you know that in Spider-Man 3, as Peter tries to propose, the spider bite from the first film is visible on his hand? Did you know that in Spider-Man, the iconic lunch tray catch is not CGI? It took Tobey Maguire 156 takes to pull off. Did you know that in Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, Luke tells R2 to stay with the ship, but he doesn't listen? The last person to say that to R2 was Anakin, and he never returned. Did you know that for the Terminator, Arnold wasn't allowed to dub his voice in German as his accent is considered very rude by German and Austrian standards? It would have been ridiculous to have a death machine from the future sound like a hillbilly. Did you know that in Thor, Odin appears in Jörnheim riding an 8-legged horse that's actually Sleipnir, his steed from Norse mythology? Did you know that for The Wrestler, Mickey Rourke actually worked at a deli counter? He takes orders from real customers, and everything he does is improvised.